The way it has been arranged, it is in a form of art. And the title of this artwork is Green Wheat, but they are medical structures. During Second World War, soldiers who were injured and became very weak cannot walk. They were the structures that they used to carry them. Ibrahim brought them all the way from Greece. We have the replicant mixed with the original ones. You know, the replicants are these fishmongers. They have a certain materials that they use to cover the fish when they are smoking it. So the smoke and then the little oil and water that is coming out from the fish will change the color of the material. Ibrahim then used it for the replicant, as the replicant. So it has been mixed with the original ones. So the original ones are the green ones. Even there are some black stains on some of them. And this artwork too talks about hard labor. This particular artwork, it is representing something that has ever happened in Ghana here from the beginning. Like at first, when Europeans moved to African countries to settle a bit, they were looking for a very strong people to work for them, but not in a form of slavery. So when they were to start constructing of railways in Ghana here, there was a misunderstanding in southern sector within the southerners. So they have to move all the way from south to north, pick some of the strong people from the north here. They were the people who carried the metals on their shoulders for the laying of the tracks. So when they were done, they said it is not necessary to extend it to north. Because northern region here, there is no gold, no diamond, no bauxite. So later, Ibrahim also read about those things and he said, no, the railways should be here, including the trains out there. They are something new to people in the northern region here.
The railway in the Gold Coast was built by labor from other places. And the places where the labor came from, they never even got to see these objects and these technological forms, the trains even in themselves. The people from the north never really got to connect with these histories and all that.
They are something new to people in the northern region here. Ibrahim says we have a workable train among them. He said he's going to extend the railway across the road up to a gravel pit. And it will appear, we have a certain structure at the back there, it will appear at the back of the structure and join this one. Anytime when there are people or kids, they also get inside. The train will take them round for them to also have the feel of that. So these people, they are bodybuilders that Ibrahim called to come over, to lift the metals, to demonstrate for him to take them pictures. So they drew all these people through phones. When they come to this place, you'll be able to recognize each and every one of them. Yeah, and then look at the hat that they are wearing. They are cement papers. You know, the cement has been used, leaving the paper aside, and the paper has been transformed into something else, like the hat of laborers. When you see something like that elsewhere, it is indirectly telling you something about labor. When you get closer, we have these invoices. These invoices, they are original invoices. Yes, they are original invoices. Yeah. During Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's regime, there were so many factories and industries that were commissioned by him. Something like Gihok.
These days, when African leaders go to Europe, they're either going to beg for debt forgiveness or they're going to beg for money. But certainly that was the thing that Nkrumah was fighting against, because Nkrumah said, look, the reason why colonialism happened is because the West wanted the resources that were here. So if we have gold, if we have bauxite, why can't we just process these things ourselves? And when we process them, certainly it will turn around the fortunes of the people who live here. There was a certain kind of radical approach in terms of how the leaders were thinking about the future of their people and how they approached it. And certainly they also formed alliances with other leaders around the world whom they could share these with. But today you don't find that. Even when you find that today, it's actually Western forces that are coming together somehow to oppress still countries that don't have any sense of power.
Something like Gihok, it was a paint division but still the name still exists, not the same product, you know. So some of these woods, the shoemaker boxes, the woods are coming from some of those factories. So these invoices and then the shoemaker boxes, the invoices and then the shoemaker boxes, they are related. So if they were to ban all these invoices, I think they were dumping the history of those companies and the factories. Let's talk about the work of shoemaker boxes. We have these shoemaker boxes here. This particular artwork also talks about hard labor and survival. You know, we have a lot of big men in office today. Some are even gone for retirement. They've started with shoe shining. And we have a lot of wealthy men. Some are even in Europe. They've started with shoe shining. In northern region here, it was rampant. But today, they've organized themselves at particular places. When you go to southern sector, you still see young men struggling here and there with the boxes, trying to get their daily bread by polishing and mending soles of shoes across the city. Most of them normally come from the villages to the city. Quite apart from that, some of them are even illiterate. When they get to the city, to apply for jobs will be difficult. In order to survive is to look for the boxes. And how Ibrahim managed to get all this, he sometimes negotiates with some of the boys. He will prepare brand new ones for them and collect the old ones. And sometimes give it to people in the form of contract bees. Ibrahim had so many awards with this in Europe. And he says, no, he has to bring it back to Ghana and show his artwork to his people so that his people also come and benefit something from that. And the title of this artwork is Non-Orientable in Cancer. Non-orientable Nkansa. You know, Nkansa is a name of a person, as we all know. That Nkansa guy is a shoemaker guy who made it today, helped Ibrahim so much by collecting of the shoemaker boxes, and he was able to collect about 4,000. But this installation is not up to 4,000. Some of the boxes are in storage. Yeah. And you know how we managed to build this? It's the metals that we weld from the beginning. After the metals, we don't put these thick plywoods on it, screw them before the shoemaker boxes. And we have Brazilian shoemaker boxes among them. Not all of them are even shoemaker boxes. And this one, this fire armory here, you know, the factories that were commissioned by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, it is from some of those factories. That is where fire extinguishers were kept. And then we have this Brazilian shoemaker boxes here. These are Brazilian shoemaker boxes. They are Brazilian shoemaker boxes. But this made in Ghana here. You know, everything that we have here has got a small history behind them. Something like this trade, when you go to southern sector, the coastal areas, women normally use them to carry fish, a lot of things. And then we have this cabinet here, all the way from Sekendita Kurade. That is, it is about 100 years. That is where the engineers' tools were kept. And you can see we have the small metals here from the downwheels of the train. Sometimes it normally got rust and the train cannot move fast and smooth. So they have machines that they use to peel it. So this one alone is a memory of trains. And at first, the installation of the shoemaker boxes was only one in the middle. Later, Ibrahim came with a new idea that we should dismantle it and shift it back and install another one so that people could walk in between. If you are walking in between, it is like you are in the middle of Red Sea. Okay, here we have these photographs here. These photographs were taken by James Bano.
Photography is in every branch of life. Somebody gave me a camera, and that led me into photography.
James Bano was a Dr. Kwame Nkrumah personal photographer. And this was the first color picture that was introduced. There was a gas and oil company in Ghana here. It was the biggest and largest in Ghana. That is Ajib. It was for Italians. And James Bano too was also having a commission on it. Sometimes the photographs that he took goes to magazines, calendars, and newspapers. And this was James Bano's personal car that he was using across the country. And he was also having a studio in Accra, that is Jamestown. And the name of the studio was Ever Young Studio. So this is the photographs of Ajib filling stations. And we have these trains here. This particular train in a picture, they were the first trains that was made. And those trains were using coal. Back at home for some time ago, our elders used to tell us that there were some trains that were using charcoal. They saw the coal thinking that it was this normal charcoal that we use at home. So somebody like me, I was also saying that, yes, it is true. There was some train that were using charcoal because I have never seen it before. And I was told by my elders. So later, when I came to this place, Ibrahim told me much about the train. I say, oh my goodness, so our elders were misleading us, you know. We have different types of fabrics here, originated from Dutch and China. But we Africans, we adopted this from them. Later, we also started manufacturing them, but the design on them are from Africa. So we are yet to study each and every cloth that we have here and then expand it. You know, Ibrahim does not do painting, but if you are far away looking at it, it's like a painting. So the title of this particular artwork is collage. But I think I can only tell you one cloth among them. This one is a very old cloth. This one here, yeah, that it is indirectly saying that money is like a bird. If you didn't handle it well, it flies away. All right, welcome to Archives. Okay, we have these trucks here, talks about hard labor. You know, in southern sector, people were using these trucks to carry heavy loads for money. Later, they said, no, they have to change a different one, the one which is stronger than the wooden ones. They don't move ahead for the metals ones over there. So these ones alone, the trucks alone, talks about hard labor. And we have this raw materials here. It is a glass made by sand. During Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's regime, there were so many factories that were commissioned by him, like the old Guinness bottles and then the malt bottles. This is the raw materials that they used to manufacture them. Those factories were all commissioned by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Yeah, they don't exist anymore. And look at the material, the one lay against the wall too. Another ties. It is also from the ties factories that were commissioned by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And where you can locate the place is Western Region, you know. And the name of the factory was Bonsa Ties Factory. Bonsa is the name of the community, and it was given to the factory. Okay. They don't exist anymore. And I believe if those factories and industries were to be alive, almost half of Ghanaians would have been employed. Mm-hmm. And by now, everyone would have been enjoying. And we have the stones here too. These particular stones, they are very old stones. You know, when Europeans were coming, they transport them from Europe to Africa. You know, when they were transporting slaves from Africa to Europe and the ship was to return empty, they fill it with these stones to balance the weight of the ship. So, you know, the castles that we have today and those forts are built by these stones. And there is a certain old cathedral in Ghana here. It is the oldest cathedral in Ghana. It is the oldest cathedral, and it is also built by these stones. So these stones are not from Africa. And look at the way the trucks have been arranged. It is in the form of slavery. This is the way they were packing slaves inside ship, transport them from Africa to Europe. This works to here talks about the construction of the railways. This is the way they were carrying the metals on their shoulders. So this one alone talks about the construction of the railways. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then here we have this bird here. From the neck up to the head is real. Downwards is a wood made by the hunters of these particular birds. And where you can find them is Mali. Some of the hunters from Mali sold it to Ibrahim, teach him how they use it. That they put it on their head, they have a certain costume they put on, go to the place where the bears are. They have a certain dance, they will dancing, singing, making a certain sign, and the bears will start coming, they began killing them. I think it's a trick that they use to kill them. Yeah. And then we have different types of lanterns here. This particular red lantern in Asian country, it was used at their palace. And this one, France and Belgium, it was used by their miners. So when you go to France today, it's a very expensive lantern. If you are to get it, only some of their big museums. And look at this wood from the railways. They call it slippers. You know, those days, when they cut off the tree, they will smoke it for more than 6 months. After that, they will ship it this way and boil it with oil. So it still look very strong and heavy. We can't find this type of wood on this planet again, because by that time the trees become very mature before they start cutting them off. And by that time there were no chemicals. But today, full of chemicals, and the trees will never become matured and they will start cutting them off. So let's talk about tattoo, how it begins in northern region here in general. Okay. How tattoo begins in northern region here. Traders and this Kaya woman. You know, this Kaya woman, there are people, some of them normally come from the northern region to southern sector to carry people luggages for money. Yeah. You know, from the beginning, when they were to move, they were writing their names on their arms, their community names, and some of the family members' names. You can see that this person has written his name on his arm, that Abalai Patargo. You know, Patargo is a community in the northern region here, and some of the family members' name has been written on the arm in case of any accident or the person passed on or got lost. They are the names they will use to trace the person's family. It was for identification purpose or ID card. Even during Second World War, soldiers who were also taking part were also writing their names on their arms. But today, a lot of people are using tattoo as fashion. Meanwhile, from beginning, it wasn't like that. It was for identification purpose. Yeah. So from here, we are moving to the Parliament of Ghost. Welcome to Parliament of Ghost. Where you can find this place on this planet is UK.
The idea of the Parliament of Ghost originally came from using these old British colonial materials, like from the railway and other spaces in Ghana, focusing on the character of these objects, whether furniture or cabinets or others, and then sending it to England, to Manchester, where I was commissioned to do this project for the Manchester International Festival.
When he got there, he said, no, he has to come to this place and build one so that people also come and benefit something from this place. Actually, almost half of Ibrahim artworks, he has been doing it here. A lot of programs, activities has been taking place here. When we have meetings, programs, we spread mat all over this place up to the middle. The steps are sitting places. The ghosts that we are talking about, not real ghosts, like programs, activities that have been held here are the ghosts that we are talking about. And then we have archives, used materials that are kept for future reference. We have cement papers, jute sacks, a lot of things. There will be a time cement to be coming out from the factory and you not see it in a paper form. Time is coming, you even pick a cement paper, you ask a kid what is it, and they wouldn't be able to tell you what exactly it is. All these things, it has been touched by so many hands. We can't count the number of people who touch them. They are all part of the ghost that we are talking about. And the jute sacks too, a lot of people do call it cocoa sacks. But the real name is jute sack. The jute is a plant that they use to make them, manufacture them. You know, they normally bring them somewhere, India, Indonesia, Bangladesh to Ghana. When they brought it to Ghana, they give the Ghana Cocoa Board. Ghana Cocoa Board also distribute it among the cocoa farmers. When the cocoa farmers too are done with it once, they can use it again. They will also sell it out for businessmen and women. Those who are dealing with pepper, onion, maize, millet, they have a time limit. When they are also done, the last people they will hand over to is charcoal dealers.
Okay.
When the charcoal dealers too are done and nobody can use it, that is the time Ibrahim is willing to use it for his artworks. As I told you earlier on, Ibrahim artworks talks about future and the past. Yeah. So all these things, it has been touched by so many hands. We can't count the number of people who touch them. They are all part of the goals that we are talking about. Welcome to Capital Corpses. Ibrahim spent 3 years of arranging these machines, and he was able to arrange about 2,000. After that, they have to lubricate it to reduce the friction. And the decks is a British design, but manufactured in Ghana. All countries that British rule were all using these decks. They were also using it. Ibrahim went to different European countries with the same exhibition. He last went to Italy with the same exhibition. When he was done and he's to dismantle it, Italian governor said no, they want to keep it at their museum for the next generation, that he should sell it for them. And he was able to do it because he's having them plenty back at home. And the way it has been arranged, it is in a form of graves. There are some graveyard when you get inside, the graves has been arranged this way. And during Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's regime, there were so many fabric industries that were commissioned by him. It was also arranged this way. One was in Accra and one was in Kumasi. But today, they don't exist anymore. And if you've ever seen it before and come to this place and see something like this, it brings you back memories. And these black balls, he exchanged them in Tamale here by white marker balls. Sometimes kids may come to this place and began to ask a lot of questions that, oh, uncle, oh my goodness, look at these people. They've turned white marker balls to black balls. It means they've never seen it before. We have to explain to them that they were the black balls that they were using those days. And Ibrahim collected them this way. So he used this hairspray to spray on it for the written on it to stay forever. Yeah. So you cannot cancel it. Yeah, he collected them that way. And why the name Capital Corpses? Where you can find this particular artwork in Ghana here is only Tamale. Tamale is the capital town of the whole northern region. And these materials, they are dead materials that Ibrahim brought back to life. They are corpses. That is why he named it Capital Corpses. Yeah. And right now we are dealing with the machines, the sewing machines here. Look at this. The sound, it is the movement of a train.
Yes, it sounds.
Yeah. And during the sound again, during Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's regime, the fabric industries that were commissioned by him was also sounding the same way when they were at work. Okay. Yeah. And it talks about formal education and non-formal education. This aircraft, look at it over there. That aircraft, he bought that one in Tamale here. They tow it from the airport up to this place by taking off the wings. Later, the engineers follow up and then come and fix it. So right now, they've taken all the seats. We have table and chairs in there plus computers. It's now served as computer lab. Apart from that one, the rest from Accra, they dismantle them, put them on a low bed, bring them to this place and assemble them here. And the one in the middle, they've taken all the seats. There is nothing in there. It is now stand as drone classroom. They teach children how to fly drones, a lot of things. Yeah. And this aircraft here too, this one, That is Second World War model. The white man brought it to Ghana here that he wants to use it for farming. At the same time, his private jet. And Ghana government says no, that 1992 constitution does not permit for a different country warcraft to come to this place and work. Quite apart from that, the constitution does not allow a jet that has got a single engine to be used here. So the jet was left behind for so long. And those trains over there too, the coaches, they've taken all the seats, they are welding the floor with a very thick plate. After that, they will line it with thick plywood and divide them. Part will be accommodation and part will be a classrooms. Yeah.